Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. While there seems to be a lot of tension going on in Rivers State, but Fubara seems to be very connected to his people, and despite all the noise going on, Fubara have decided to make a move, albeit touching the people of Rivers in a dimension that no other governor in his time and reign had ever done that. In a moment, we're going to find out what it is he's doing that is bringing a lot of approval, smiles on the people's face. Meanwhile, we're going to allow you to watch a video, of course, where Angel Briggs and, of course, the magistrate K.E. Judge that resigned, who, of course, a lot of people from Wike's camp incidentally kept on spreading the false narrative that actually he didn't resign, that he was caught in an act and all that. You're going to hear directly from his mouth as he states his reason, and very boldly so. But let's quickly find out exactly what Fubara just did just about some few hours ago. Now, according to the news, Governor Fubara had just approved cows, 1 million naira for each ward to mark Easter celebration. Now, despite the suspension as governor, for similar life, Fubara has continued to show generosity to the people of Rivers State in celebration of the Easter season. The suspended governor approved the distribution of 1 big cow and the sum of 1 million naira each to each of the 1 million naira to each of the 319 political wards across the state. The move has been widely seen as a gesture of goodwill and solidarity with the grassroots, reinforcing Fubara's connection with the people even in the face of political challenges. Community members have expressed appreciation for the Easter support, noting that it comes at a critical time for many families. Local leaders are expected to oversee the fair distribution of the items in their respective wards. The Easter outreach underscores Fubara's consistent focus on community welfare as he continues to engage and support Rivers people despite his current political situation. If this guy contests in 2027, he will win a flawless victory. Of course, if they don't tamper with it. But let's hear what Angel Briggs said, and of course the judge, retired judge, the one who retired, who deliberately resigned, Justice K.E. Judge, what led to his resignation. Of course, we'll come back to find out what a reverend said about Jesse Wike that is warning the president to be wary of. Please, let's watch.
We, the people of Rivers State, the majority of the people of Rivers State, the innocent people of Rivers State, believe that we've been handed the very short end of the stick by no fault of our own. We don't deserve this. This is between two people that one is claiming that they had an agreement. Fine, people have agreements every day. Marriage is about agreement. Relationship is about agreement. What we're asking is, what agreement did you have? What agreement did you have? Did you have a financial agreement? Did you have, what agreement did you have that is so devastating to the people of Rivers State? And this problem has come so far that we cannot be in the outside while other people shave our head behind our back. We must be in the room. We must be in the room when they are discussing. We have to know what brought us to this point so that in the future it won't happen again.
A chief magistrate, or as a magistrate, our courts are courts of summary jurisdiction. Our proceedings are not guided by the constitution of this country. Now, that being the case, it means that I will take directives from my employer, which is the chief judge of Rivers State. That's what I will take directives from. Now, he in turn, I'm sure, takes some level of directives from the governor. That should have been the elected governor who would have acted as the chief security officer of the state. The governor of the state, I'm sure, is usually the chief security officer of that state. Now, there's this meeting the governors hold with the chief judge and the commissioner of police and all what's not. I think every month or so it's called security meeting or security brief. When those meetings are concluded, Most of the proceedings from that meeting are forwarded to us at the judiciary level to implement in a manner as to quell criminal issues and all that within Rivers State. So that being the case, I am simply saying that I cannot take instruction from a military administrator. I cannot. In the entire 16 years I've served with the Rivers State Judiciary, I've taken instructions from civilian administrators. I do not know how I'm going to adapt. So now I begin to take instructions from a military administrator. I find it very strange. I have not been trained before. The judiciary did not take us for any previous training on how to work with military administrators. We have not undergone any training to that effect. So until that is done, I don't know how even my colleagues are going to cope. So for me, unfortunately, I'm not the type that would want to, keep my mouth shut. So I decided that it's better for me to throw in my towel and go home and look for something else to do, even if it's a farm or something, because that will be more honorable for me.
All right, welcome back. You've all heard what they all said, Angel Briggs, and of course the judge that retired. But one of the Rivers citizens have decided to write an open letter really to the president over some strategies. According to him, he said same strategy by the arch enemy and destroyer of parent of. I take that again. Same strategy by the arch enemy and destroyer of president, yet poses as a best friend and loyalist. He creates an imaginary enemy or enemies for the president, then he positions as the defender of the president, and then the messiah that will fight and defeat the said imaginary enemies of the president. He did it against Amici during Jonathan's reign. He got the PDP governorship ticket as a result of that, but it backfired against Jonathan and cost him and the Niger Delta the office of the president. Now he's creating another imaginary enemy for President Tinubu. Governor Fubara is now being painted as the enemy of President Tinubu. He's now positioning as the one to defeat President Tinubu's enemies that he is bogusly creating. Of course, he needs Tinubu's support in the imaginary fight against Tinubu's enemies. Regrettably, this may most likely backfire against the president and cost him his second term as president. He usually doesn't do this in the interest of the president. He only uses them to meet his to their detriment. He prefers a hold of the office of governor and treasury of Rivers State as well as those of the local government, even if it causes the president to lose his reputation, goodwill, and eventually a re-election. Will President Tinubu be smart enough to see through these shenanigans and take steps to redeem himself and avoid same fate that befell Jonathan? Only time shall tell. Of course, this is written by one Anokam Amadi Anokam, actually from Rivers, Job to be precise. My colleague is in the house. Interesting times, I must say. This to him is a summary of how Wike's political career has emerged, doing this and climbing shoulders. What's your take on all of this? Remember, Fubara just gave his people 1 cow for each word and 1 million naira to make Easter a lot easier. And the sole administrator is really interested in God knows what, but to tell you that the indigenes, when someone is from a state, he cares more for his people than a stranger. Really, what's your take?
Well, I think that the move taken by Fubara is just to congratulate on his goodwill towards his people and also to let them know that despite the fact that I am not situations that we're seeing currently. I know it's a matter of time, I can still remember that there were some persons like that in another part of Nigeria, though they were not as daring as Wike was, but they were always identified with every power, or every president that comes on board, they became governors. But today there are no more. So I just believe that this fight going on between Wike and the River State, a time will come that he won't have the control he feels he should have, continuously in River State. I've always been saying it. Wike, there's no place that Wike has been identified as the Mandela of River State. There's nothing he had done for River State except being a local government chairman, just like every other person in Obiogbo, being a minister, which was through the recommendation of a former governor, ended up being a governor and FCT minister. So there's nothing special he has done. Trying to wrap the state around his finger is one thing that I pray that God should give Fubara the ability to repel as much as he can.
One last question. What's your take on the fact that despite all the media chat that Wike had talking about Fubara and the rest, Fubara have not dignified it with a response, at least not a reply? What's your take?
Well, I think that Fubara, as a noun, wants to stay the way he is. And we all have different temperaments. Wike is one person that will easily fire back at you, and to him that's a way of instilling fear in those who are talking against him. But I think Fubara is more concerned about leadership. He's more concerned about the people. So everything he does revolve around me. Whatever you want to say about me, I don't have a problem with that. But I just want to have the opportunity of making sure I leave an indelible imprint in the life of the people. Infrastructure, yes. In other areas, yes. But apart from that, welfare of the people is my greatest concern. Now look at the short period of time he had been in power. I think that's one of the reasons why Wike himself is getting a little bit scared, as much as he feels that he's raising a lot of people. But I think Fubara is doing the work that every governor should do. For example, he came on board. They were remitting, I think, 17 billion naira every month, but he moved to, I think, the 28 billion naira. That's not all. He remained 28 billion naira, some good money. Why didn't he save all of that to enjoy himself with it? But just to prove, come on, I don't have anything to do except to help my people.
All right, that's good. Wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section. What's the take?